This is Joy Ani, scrapping in my own private Idaho, and today I am on day 23 and from Christy's Beautiful Life, and this sketch is by MK Gunn, and it is a fun one. Normally this is a 2-page sketch, but I only had 2 pictures, and so I'm going to go ahead and do a 1-page layout, and so this is what I've got so far. So I am using Ocean Friends, and this is a Stampin' die. I use the stamps, the dies, and the stamps, dies. Anything else? And you might hear a lot of background music, background thing. And I do apologize for that. So this is the paper that I used, and it is bright paper, and it's always a challenge for me to use bright paper, but if you use enough white, I think then I can get along with it. So this is another one. This is actually, that's the same. And then there's this fun one, and I do like the color combination. And there's a sunflowers and a stripe. It's always nice to have a stripe. And then they have this one is fun. This is what I cut. Yeah, I cut the title out of this one, and it's just a light, you can see the text, and then this is a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so the first thing I did do mixed media, and I am just going to add a little bit. So I like to lay all my stuff down to see where things are going to go. I did my title, and then I did an outline. I wish I would have used a different color combination, but and I will go back to that. So it's the title is Feeling Crabby, and my poor little grandson. I'm going to go ahead and move all this stuff off, and where I'm going to add some more mixed media. So I'll show you, this is the mixed media that I have already. I like to experiment around before I go on. I have used the Ranger Distress Oxide, I've used Salty Sea, and Feather Peacock. At first I was thinking the colors didn't go, but I'm all good with it now. So I put where I thought it would be, but with pictures you never know. So I want to add a little more mixed media in this area and in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how I do it. There are other ways, probably better ways, but this is how I do it. So I'm going to get my mess mat, and I'm going to flip it around, and it's kind of hard because I'm in a very small space here, but I am going to use, so I am using, this is bubble wrap, and when you use the bubble wrap, for whatever reason, the color is really dark and pretty strong. So I'll show you. I'm going to put that down first, and remember, I'm trying to cover it. I'm going to do the bottom because that shows a little bit, and this part right here. So I'm doing that between 7 and 9, and probably 4 to 8. I did bring a paper towel, and I am using watercolor. I did have a lot of watercolor. I had watercolor paper. I got it on sale, and so I am using that. I think with the watercolor paper, I think it helps it, so I'm going between 7 and 9. I think it helps it stay a little bit darker. And you can see that is super, super dark. But I do like the that pattern. So I'm going to set that aside so I don't make a mess. And I am just going to, I'm going to do my other one, and then I'm going to dab off anything that's extra. Normally I would let it dry, but that would be really fascinating. You would literally watch, not while paint, while paint dries, but where ink dries. So this, any kind of wrapping, so any kind of plastic wrap works great. And I'm just doing, and it can go, the reason I like to use the Distress ink is because, and I think there's a little bit up here I could do, and a little down here, just in case it shows. The reason I use Distress ink is because normally if you use your regular ink, you can do all of the mixed media with regular ink. But the problem with that is a lot of times if they touch, then they mix, and they're very unattractive. So that's why with the distressed inks, you can put them right on top of each other, and they will stay true to themselves. They're not evilly influenced by other colors. Okay, so I'm going to, because I'm going to get started on this, I'm going to go ahead and sponge that a little bit. I'm going to take the little excess off, and I'm going to talk about the stamp set that I used. So I'm using the Ocean Friends stamp set and thin cut, and this is how I store it. So I have, this one isn't close to my heart, but close to my heart came with a lot of these metallic, they're like magnets, and so I keep them in with my stamp set, and I wish I would have flipped them, but I so, and then I actually this one I used the two-sided tape and actually put it right on there, and so when I take it off, that's how I get my stamp sets off. As I just pull this up, and then I take my stamp sets off, and I leave them like that, because I'm not a fan of, I don't like when you get your thin cuts, or your when you get your dies, they're not thin cuts, that's close to my heart, but when you get your dies, they come like this, and I have used, in this layout, I've used this one and this one. I've used all of them except for this long one here. And I want to show you, so my cute little crabs that you'll see my cute little crabs? Those are on the paper. So you have 2 sheets of paper that have lobsters, and I'll give you the information if you are interested in these dies and paper at all. You can pop over to my website if you don't have a person. Okay, so this is the paper. This is the paper that comes in, and you just set your dies on this. It lines up perfectly. You run them through your thin cut, and voila, no fussy cutting. So a lot of their, if they come in a suite, a lot of times they'll come like this. So and that's how I got my cute little crabs. I just cut those out with the thin cuts, and that was a lot of fun. These are the dies. So these are the fun dies that there are. So let's go ahead and get started. I think, and I did, the other thing I wanted to show you is I did got my paper. This is Berry Burst. I love that paper. It's a lot of fun. A Berry Burst, and then my watercolor paper I cut at 11.5 by 11.5. And I wanted to show you that on your journaling can be part of the design. And so to help this, because I'm on a white base, to help that stand out some, I went around with the Berry Burst and just did a direct ink. And so that's a little decoration for my layout. So let's go ahead, and I have dried this because I don't want it on there. And yeah, so now we're ready to put things down. I am using these weird little squares still because I am determined to use up what I have. Because if you don't use up what you have, then you wind up with all this stuff. Okay, and actually it works out really well with this. And I do glue lightly, and a lot of times I'll go back and glue things down better because nobody wants to watch me do that. So how many of you still have these in your arsenal? I didn't mind them, but man, they were messy. If you were scrapbooking, like if it crops, people that use this underneath their spot, it would be super, super messy. So, but that's what I'm using today. Okay, so I'm just setting this down so that it sets in at 1/4 in and 1/4 in. And especially, so because I'm using busy pattern paper, I'm having a lot of white space. And what I'd like to say is, don't be afraid of white space. White space helps you, white space helps you focus on the pictures. And after all, it is all about the pictures. I mean, it's great to have beautiful pages. We all want to have beautiful pages. But we also want to have it complement and not scream so loudly you can't see your your pictures. And sometimes, and in reverse of that, sometimes if you have, there are, especially when my kids were little, you don't have great pictures. So maybe you do want to do a really super fancy layout that tells your story and has cute icons that tell the story because your pictures don't. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pictures down first, and these, so this poor little guy, so it's my grandson, and I'm not even for sure where he was at, but they had, you can see they had the big alphabet things on the floor, and for whatever reason, he decided, oh, I'm trying to remember how I had this. This is the problem. Okay. I'm going to put my, oh, okay, start from the bottom to the top. Okay. Sorry. I should have taken a picture of this because I never remember. And I'm going to do this. And you can, if in her sketch, she has a little bit of cut off, and I think I'm going to do that too. I'm going to bring my paper cutter over. And I'm just going to have just a half an inch off of it. So if you hear happy laughing teenagers, just know that we're a happy household. And so that's why we have happy laughing teenagers. Actually, I think this is going to be a 1 inch because I have these other two things. Okay, so this color is, Summer Splash. It is one of the colors that coordinate with the paper pack. And remember, if you buy the paper pack, all the coordinating colors are on the back side. They have a cardstock that is thick, and that's where they list it. I do miss, I'm not going to lie, I miss zip strips because I often lose the packaging on things. So I'm going to come up another half inch, and that's going to sit right here. And then I'm going to take an 1.5 inches off of this one. I think that's what she has. Yes. I'm looking at the sketch. You can see her beautiful sketch. And I will definitely make this as a 2-page layout eventually, but for today, it's just going to be a 1-page. I used to always, well, not always, I used to do a lot of layouts without pictures, but one of the challenges I challenged for myself, I'm not doing very well on it, but is that I'm using up a lot of those, I call them, I guess they call them naked pages. I have like 400, and I was going to try to do one a day and like put pictures on them and that sort of thing, but that hasn't happened. Okay, so my title is Feeling Crabby, and who wouldn't? The poor little guy. I mean, so back to the story. So he was somewhere, and let's put this is going to make it look so much better. We're going to put this down here like this. And what I'm going to attach this with a glue dot at the bottom because I don't want to adhere it. I want it to be I want it to be a free-for-all. See how that is? See how that is just going to be perfect on there? So I'm going to just put a glue dot that will put it down, but it will still do that. And another thing that you could do is there is a stamp that you could, there's a stamp that's similar to these. You could actually put some of those down too. But I am just going to put a glue dot at the bottom of these and let them just fly around, because if you've ever been to the ocean, they do. That's how they feed, is they move their, I guess, I don't know if these are arms. I don't know what you're going to call them, but they wiggle around because that's how they get their food, is they just kind of woo, I like that. And so I'm going to put that down there. I'm going to put his picture down here. It's a 1/2 inch in, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down. So, yeah. So the colors I've used is Summer Splash, Berry Burst, and this is Lemon Lime Twist. And this is, actually it's pumpkin. I was surprised when I read that that was one of the coordinating colors. I'm going, are you sure? But it is. And pumpkin is one of the only ones that is the two-sided. And you can see the beauty of the two-sided is because if you wanted something close, you can get a feeling for both. So feeling crabby. So, and then I'm going to put my cute little journaling is going to go right up there. I'm not going to glue that down because I'm going to take them off and write on them. So, and I'll journal about, so he was at someplace and they had this alphabet. See the alphabet right there? I started to tell the story 3 times. I'm sorry, I'm a little ADHD. Well, actually a lot, but so for whatever reason, he took that out, and in this picture, he put it on his head, which he kind of looks confused, like, oh, this is on my head. But then it was stuck, and he was sad. So, non-scrapbooking parents immediately go and rescue their child, but scrapbooking parents first get their camera, take a picture of the child and their trauma, and then rescue them. So, and I'm not for sure. I wasn't there that day, so, and I thought about making this a 2-page paper, but I didn't have, and now I'm going to. I don't have any pictures of him looking crabby, and it's not like he doesn't cry, because he does, but I just don't have any pictures of them. So that goes to show you, you need to take pictures of them when they're happy and not. I'm going to go ahead and put this one down as well, and then I'm going to pop dot my feeling crabby, and I'm going to put some of these behind. I got over here without any way to adhere things, so, oh, yes I did. Okay, and actually, we'll just go ahead and, I wish I had my, oh, there it is. I love these because when you are, they're kind of like a mini mess mat, but I'm not the world's worst adherer, so I'm going to put that down here like that, and then, so I love these stringy up things, and I'm going to put, I have some more, I have a berry one like this, and this is going to give us a little bit of height. And then we're going to add our sea anemones. I'm going to add it like there. And we're going to put this, these can just be randomly placed right there. And I'm going to put a glue dot on my sea anemone because I want it to be free to move. So that it that way I don't have to pop it up, but it gives that feeling of movement. And I'm going to put this one right here. Okay, I'm going to put a few pop dots right there. I'm going to add my crabs. And so now that I've discovered this, well, I've had it for quite some time. I went to the Oregon Coast. And I thought I was going to use this paper pack for the Oregon Coast, but the Oregon Coast is more grayish bluish. It's not warm there. So, but this was perfect because of the floor tiles. And with my journaling, I'll have to ask them because I don't know why he put it on his head, and I don't know how he got it off his head. This title was from Design Space. It had a crab on top of it, but it was a little bit too big for what I needed it to be. So I just, and I have my own crabs. See, I have my own crab. He's going to sit here like he's going to go, he's pinching the word crab. It's going to go right here. He's going to go like that. And I have this tool. I think I'm going to just add a little bit of interest. I'm kind of wishing, and I think this would look good embossed. Isn't it amazing how you're going along and you only think of the things you want to do after the fact? That's why, is it ever really done? I'm thinking this piece needs to be embossed. So I might, when you take a picture, and I will add in the details if I actually embossed it or not. But this is getting a little bit longer than I thought. I could also, the other thing I'm thinking about is, because if you struggle to finish like me, I will often set things aside and add things. I usually add things after filming, and I try to remember what I add. But anyway, the journaling is going to go there. And so I think I'm going to call this layout done. It went fast, and I'm telling you, all of these things to cut out was so much fun. So anyway, I will put down the stamp set and the die cut. And remember, this is a Design Space file with a outline. I think it's 8 inches across. So I hope this will encourage you to maybe look at some pictures. He is not in the ocean. This has nothing to do with the ocean. It has to do with his feelings. So he's feeling crabby. So I went with the crab theme, and that was kind of fun. So maybe we have all pictures of our kids smiling, but maybe we need some of them not so happy. But anyway, so that's my video for today. I hope you will subscribe, and I hope you will have fun scrapping. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.